Hello, hello, everyone. It's nice to see you all. Mehmet, nice to see you. Enrique, hello. Uh, Convex. I hear great things about it. And uh, Max has created a BetterAuth plus Convex integration, which is pretty cool. Luke, nice to see you too. Emandrinas, nice to see you. And we are here today with Attila, the one and only Attila. Honestly, I would love to get into your background and find out a little bit, chat a little bit about what you used to do before. Bombastic, nice to see you. Attila, you didn't come from tech, right? You had a very different career before getting involved.
Yeah, very different. So I actually have a bachelor in physical education. Like there are different names in different countries. In Brazil, that's how we call it. It's like sports science. So I actually had a gym before. Um, Started as a swimming teacher, then weightlifting and stuff like that. Um, Got sick of doing that, so I started doing other stuff. Even taught English for a little bit as a side gig, and then I don't know, an HTML book felt on my head and I started liking it. It was a very weird, long journey, but then I actually started coding way past, like in the middle of my 20s, I think was my first console log. So,
That's amazing.
which kind of tells my age because I've been around for a while since then.
Don't let on. Like you could totally like. I think you're 25, right? That's the
Yeah, something like that.
so what do you do? What do you do? Well, I mean, I should say introduce yourself, because although I've said you're Attila, I haven't actually said anything. Like, who are you? What do you do? You're a fellow open source maintainer. People will probably know that. They'll probably know you from Solid. But how would you intro yourself?
Yeah, so I work with Solid.js for a little bit now. Started doing all sorts of stuff with Solid. Did a little bit of the docs for a while, then created some content here and there. And recently, I moved to the core team, and we're building the next version of Solid Start. So there's a few moves happening there. I mentioned a little bit on the VidConf talk, if you watched it, which like chances are high if you're in this live stream that you watched it because Daniel gave a really cool talk as well. Um,
There were a
Mine
lot of
was a little
amazing
like
talks.
right after him. Yeah, mine was right after yours, so I had like big shoes to fill. Anyways, so I've been working in Solid Start for a little bit with a lot of much smarter individuals, and I about almost a year ago now I joined Neon, so it was before the acquisition, and since then I think last June we were acquired by Databricks, and but I'm still working on the directly on the Neon product because I work in a team called PLG, which stands for Product Led Growth, which means that we do a tons of open source. We get closer to like communities and we direct like our biggest metric is people are happy using Neon, which led me to this live stream actually, because yeah, we I work directly on some integrations, like one of which is called Instagrass. So instagrass.com is something that's to essentially give every single person an active connection string in a few milliseconds. So
Instagress.com. That's extremely
yeah,
cool.
so that's the thing. So we have an SDK, we have a CLI tool, and a Vite plugin. So basically, if it doesn't find the connection string in your M file, it's going to immediately create one for you. You can pass a migration, you can pass a SQL script, and it's going to also insert some data. And yeah, honestly, it's like it's ready before you can open your dev browser. So that's pretty cool.
Now that is the
And
kind of thing that I'm absolutely going to test. Like,
yeah,
maybe we can test that. I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, I have an unofficial quote from Anthony at VidConf. I demoed him that, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, I kind of don't like using databases." And then I showed him the whole Instagram demo, and he's like, "Oh, I would use that." And I'm so sad I didn't have a recorder at that time, because I would put that Anthony's quote, right there.
Yeah. This is honestly amazing because if you can just, I mean, I would use this all the time for demos and things like that. Like rather than have
Yeah.
to,
So
yeah. And prototyping, you're building the app out. You need a database, but you don't want to persist the stuff. You're just throwing data in
yeah.
it.
So this database is active for like 72 hours. It has all the limits of a free account. So if you go to the other tab on the terminal, Vite, that's like yeah, that one. So that's how you get a full working database on your local development environment. Like that, the Vite plugin specifically doesn't do anything in production. So if you forget to put a connection string, it's not like we are going to create a new database for you on CI. That's like, we didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But that's perfectly awesome to get like quick prototypes and get stuff going quickly. And then for claiming, you can just get a free Neon account. So it's literally a test drive of Neon. It has all the features.
Okay. And you ship this.
Yeah, I helped ship that. I didn't create the first version. The first version was actually my manager who created. And then we made that into a product. And now, yeah, now I'm adding a few extra features. But yeah, since then it grew, and I'm in the main maintainer of this right now. I have like, the team helps a lot, but I'm the one that's like full-time focused on this.
Cool. This is great. Okay. And Neon, I see, is acquired by Databricks, and it has quite a lot of stuff. I thought it might be cool to build a Next module for Neon. There's not one now, right? There's not an existing Next module.
Not that I know of. No.
Let's just see. Neon. No, nothing there. Okay, so we're going to create it. Or try anyway. We'll see what we can do. Right. And you can talk me through everything, right? You know everything there is to know about Neon. So we're going to create a new create a new Next project. We'll call it Neon, and we'll use the module starter template for it. And pnpm, and we'll start a Git repo. And there we go. We won't bother with any extra modules, and I'll just open Neon. One thing. I'm going to copy my...
Oh, there's one in the chat already. Next Neon.
There is a Nux Neon. That's very cool. It's not in the database,
one.
but I bet there'll be something that we can either... So we'll have to see how full-featured it is. It's got stuff going on there. How did I not know about this?
Yeah.
There's stuff. There's stuff happening. Goodness me.
That's
Ferris,
really cool.
nice to see you. And Saul. And Damien. Damien, by the way, is the one who put it in. And Damien's name. Actually, I realize you probably can't see the chat. If you
I can.
You can. Great. Okay.
I can.
Cool.
And yeah, I told Faris we were going to give a shout out to Zurich.js.
Zurich.js, absolutely. I feel like this is like a podcast now. We're giving shout outs and everything. Zurich.js is amazing, and I'm going to be speaking there, but it's a meetup. You're there as well, right, Atila?
No, I'm not. At least, yeah, let's see. But I do intend to join in and watch some talks as well.
Yeah, it's great. And everyone I've ever met from Zurich.js, they're all great. Ulima, cool. Okay, and yes, the Zurich.js conf, they've been revealing speakers via silhouettes for a while, but there are some folk who were there. So you can attend if you want. There's lots of cool stuff. The only real problem with this whole website is that they promised and swore that it would be written in Nuxt. And is it written in
Yeah,
Nuxt?
Faris is doing that. He also promised to rewrite in solid start if I do it. He's making a lot of promises. I want to see how he's going to keep up with that.
Yes, I see. It's interesting how these things come out. Ferris probably thought we would never know. But
Yeah.
so the only solution, yes, micro front ends. We basically need, on this conference website, we need every major JavaScript framework to just be there. So, you know, the speaker carousel, that can be Vue, and then maybe we can have Solid a little bit further down, and who knows, we can drop some React in or some Preact. I think I don't see any downsides.
Scott in the lineup, he's not going to let him not have Svelte as well.
That's true. That's true. Cool. So, anyway, yes, shout out to Zurich.js, both the conference and also, which is in September, so that's ages and ages away, and also the meetup, which I would absolutely be going to if I were in in Zurich. Cool. So right, okay, great. So we have a Neon database. So does it do an instant? Because I think the first thing I want to do is I would just want to see how would I get going with this instant database. So is that a dependency? It is not. Great. So we already can just immediately go ahead and add a totally new feature. So we have got our module here, and I should probably install some dependencies. And let's do some searching and replacing. So I think I have been overly generous with my minimal nature of this. Let's see, package.json should exist. And we're going to call this, we'll keep your org, but we'll change my module to Neon. And let's just implement that instant Instagrass. Okay. So there is a Vite plugin, which, we obviously could use that. But the fact is that Nuxt runs like even if you're not Vite, so you can have Webpack or RSPack. So let's just try getDB. Does that work? We don't lose anything by doing that, right?
It should. It exports an SDK.
Okay, great. So we have getDB, and we are going to run that away in our module. And what would we want to do? We have instant Postgres. And basically, we're going to say if import metadev, I guess, then we are going to start this up. And we have, we need to have a seed.
No, yeah, you can add a seed.
Okay, so we don't have to. We'll still get a connection string.
You can pass a path to a SQL file, and then it's going to parse it and insert whatever you want.
Yeah.
But you don't need that. What you need in this, and that snippet's a little bit outdated, is a referrer, because we have affiliates program that's connected to Instagrass. So with that, we can send some payouts your way if people use whatever you're building with it.
Payouts?
So,
well, this is a profitable stream already. Referrer.
Exactly.
Daniel Rowe. Money. Okay, great. We're going to. Now, that's required? So you have to pass a referrer, and by referrer, you're talking about like the person who's using it, or
the person who is creating whatever integration it is. So basically, now you can create a Nuxt template, a Nuxt module, and then every time the Nuxt module runs, we're going to create a database for someone that's going to have it for free, and we will be able to send you, the creator of this template or plugin or module, some payouts based on people that convert into Neon users afterwards.
Cool.
It's not like that direct in terms of we cannot get to you with just a string. So it's a program which you need to apply to, of course.
Okay.
But that's the purpose of this. So, and then what happens is if you put like a nice name in the refer, for example, I usually recommend people to put the GitHub org and the repository path. So then
Yeah.
if I see on my database, on the Instagress database, that there's one specific integration that's creating a bunch of them, I'm going to personally reach out to you and say, oh, I see you're using that. Can you give me some feedback? Do you want to join the program? Are you interested in some money? Which I've never seen anybody say no to money. But yeah, that's the point. So yeah, so Runyon Cat is asking, is this neon? Or I think they're asking if that's neon, which it is. I don't know if they're asking what is neon, because we didn't really say anything about it.
Well, yeah.
So
Say a little bit more then.
so neon is a serverless Postgres. In case somebody doesn't know. And yeah, so neon is a serverless Postgres, which is a little bit different in terms of architecture because we split storage and compute. That means that it can actually it scales to 0. It's like completely it's a really good pairing with serverless ecosystems, and because we separate storage and compute, it can scale pretty high, pretty cheap. So, and since if somebody doesn't know Neon, probably don't know we got acquired by a company called Databricks, which is a very large company. And because of that, we now have two different products. One is Neon as it is, and the other is Lake-based. So, and they're running in a pretty much the same infrastructure, which means you get the big infra with the startup kind of experience. Yeah, scale to 0 is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And then
but I mean, your branching is also the reason that I think some people pick Neon, right?
Our branching is one of our best features. We're right now launching Auth. So, and Auth is actually built on top of Better Auth, which we heard everybody likes. So the difference between Neon Auth and using Better Auth out of the box is that Neon Auth supports branching as well. So you can actually branch a database that has authentication in it.
Yeah.
You can isolate your branches. Yeah. So I was talking about the acquisition. So big company means we were able to make the free plan a lot more generous. So in the free plan now, you can get about 100 projects, which should be enough for all your hobby projects and demos and whatever else.
Cool. Okay. Well, so that's fantastic. Where in Brazil are you from?
So I was born and raised in a city called Porto Alegre, which is the capital further in the south, which is also why I'm always drinking something that's mate related. In this case, this is Mio Mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Lopez, are you Brazilian as well? Let me know in the chat where you're from. Yeah, the name is Hungarian, but I'm Brazilian. Yeah, it did happen at JSConf Budapest. I was there. I was actually with Patak. He lives there in Budapest, right? From Vít. And I was at a conference and somebody saw my name tag and started speaking Hungarian to me. It took me a hot second to realize it was not English. So yeah.
Okay, so we have this database thing in Nitro, and Nitro has support for if you have a look in the docs, you might not be aware of this because it's you have to enable a few things, but we have a use database and you can run direct SQL queries. So we'll just set this up for to use this Neon database. So config.experimental. True. Great. And then we're going to set up our database config. So we have a default option here, which you can have different tables, different connectors, but I think it makes sense to set up our default database. We'll have a connector, we'll have some options. So we will say this is going to be connector. Okay, we have got some different options here. Do we just go for Postgres like this?
Yes. So I actually have a pull request open at DB0, which is what Nitro uses under the hood, to add a Neon specific one. What the difference is that Postgres in DB0 uses the PG package, which defaults to a TCP connection. And the Neon one will use the Neon serverless driver, which allows you to pick HTTP or WebSockets.
Cool.
Once upon a time, the TCP connection was not great with serverless environments.
Yeah.
Right now, things are a little bit different, so you can get by. So there isn't too much of a change. What we do with our WebSocket connection, Andrea is there. I need to take so he's the best person to ask about that.
Yeah.
Andrea is a DevRel at Neon, so he actually made really nice timing. You joined, Andrea. So he made a really nice benchmark comparing TCP, our WebSockets connection, and HTTP on different environments.
Yeah.
So as you work at Vercel, you probably saw the workflow and the fluid compute thing.
Yeah.
So in fluid compute environments, TCP is actually, I believe, faster because it has a little bit less latency. But on regular serverless environments, it's recommended that you use the pooler connection, which is our WebSockets one, that allows more concurrent connections and doesn't drop the connectivity. So that's what I would recommend if you are not building on fluid compute and on a serverless environment. Use the bouncer one. So even if you pick the Postgres one, you can do that by creating a pooler client. But that's the point. And then
but this doesn't
back
exist
to DB0,
yet, right? So it will when your PR is merged, but it's not there yet.
The Neon one, yes, when my PR is merged. What this one does is use PG under the hood, so it has support for a pooler client.
Yeah.
So you could do that, and then instead of passing the database URL, you would be able to pass the pooler connection in this case.
Okay, so let's just have a look. So DB0 is here, which is what Nitro uses under the hood, and it looks like you probably have. There it is, October 27th.
The Neon, yeah.
What's the status? Oh.
So I started doing that, and Puya messaged me recently about some questions about that.
Yeah.
I still need to circle back in it. So it was last week. I need to do some work, but it's a very pretty mergeable state soon. Like tests are passing, everything is kind of working. What this is doing under the hood as well is on Neon, you can actually use Instagress to replace SQLite in the dev server with a Postgres, because right now DB0 by default takes SQLite to the dev server, and then even if you're shipping Postgres in production.
Okay. Okay. Well, that'll make things a lot easier. So we probably, I guess this claim URL is where you can go to permanently get the database, right?
Yes. So claim URL is the URL you're going to access. You access it. It's going to prompt you to have a Neon account.
Yeah.
And if it does, you can transfer this database to a URL, to an org that you have. And the good thing is that we are not going to flush the connection string, so it doesn't interrupt any kind of connection.
Yeah.
So you can actually have real data there, and it's yours.
Amazing. Okay. Um, so we will basically, I think in this case, if we don't have an options URL, if we don't, so we want the user to be able to provide their own once they've claimed it, right? So we don't get a new. Okay, so this is the point, I guess. When we run this, we get a URL every time. So we probably don't want that to happen every single time we start the dev server. We probably want this only the first time, right?
Yes. What I do in the Vite plugin is I check for the .env.
Yeah.
And I see if the key is there. So you can actually pass what key you want the connection string to be at. By default, database URL.
Just database URL, okay.
Yeah, by default, but you can configure that. And you can also configure if you want like a different .env, so if you want .env local or something like that.
Yeah. So we probably need to be able to write the .env. I'm not actually sure whether .env lets you write to it, but I'm guessing you probably can. Let's see. Like I want like an update .env pass.
Let me see.
I wonder if RC9 would do it instead. No, it's just a more generic config file. I think if this doesn't exist, it'll be super easy. You just append a like a line. So I guess we just do append file sync join next options root .env, and there we go. Obviously, a lot of this stuff can become configurable later on, but okay. So this is basically going to get the database URL and save it to the .env file, and then we can carry on with our and we also want to print something out telling people that that we've generated a URL for them. Visit something like that, and great. So then we've configured our database, and then we need to do something just to test that this is going to work in our actual app. So let's see, here's our Instagrass. So, oh no, let's try DB0. So if we grab an example of using it, so here's our event handler, we will just create a playground, and we'll create an event handler. We'll say API test, and here it is. Okay, so we have our database. Okay, interesting. We probably should not do this when we generate.
Yeah, so those logs I'm going to remove. I actually have a working PR to make it a little bit quieter.
But also, we just shouldn't do it in when we are preparing. Okay, so let's try this again. Now this will. So hopefully that will do. Yeah, nothing. Now if we start our dev server, I think it's actually probably already created our .env file for us. There we go. There's a. But I'm going to delete it, and we'll just try what happens if we start our playground. So great, your temporary neon database has been created, and then here is the URL. We can make that a bit more beautiful. If I drop this in these little backticks, it'll make it highlighted in cyan. And we can put like a little border around it as well. Great, let me just see what that would do. Claim it. Cool, that was nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh, Fishy, nice to see you. Brandon, nice to see you too. It's been a while.
Oh, nice.
Exactly. It's like we should get you up here. we have your sort of Attila with solid start, and here I am with Nuxt, and Brandon can come in with analog. This would be amazing. Have you used Neon before, Brandon?
Big Nitro family. Yeah.
Exactly. Nitro Massive. I'm going to try that. I'm going to just claim it. Because I want to see if I put some stuff in. Oh, last I used. This is a very nice feature when it has the little last tag to tell you what you last used. It's me. I'm going to claim it, my database. Okay, I'm in. I've got a database. That was so fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Nice.
I'm in. I've got a database, and I want to use it. So we created that little event handler, which honestly was just taken from the Nitro docs. But this basically grabs creates a user table, inserts a user into it, and then returns like a list of users that match it, right? So
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
so let's just see if that works, because it might not. What is it? API test. Oh, we have to install a package, it looks like.
Yeah. So you're using DB0 under the hood.
Yeah, and
Right?
you mentioned the PG was a requirement.
Yeah.
Josh!
So what happens? What happens is that what Puya did is, because DB0 connects to a bunch of databases, he didn't bring anything inside the bundle. So
Yeah.
whenever you choose one, you need to bring the peer dependencies.
Which, yeah, makes total sense, right? Like you don't want to
Yeah.
install every possible thing. Okay, so here we are. We've hit this, and let's try hitting that API again. Cannot find PG. This is always a good thing, right? Okay, what have we got going on? Playground, we have PG installed. Do we have, I hope we don't have a .npmrc file. Because in some cases, yes, what a pain. I need to get rid of this from our template, because that is absolutely wrong. We shouldn't be shamefully hoisting stuff, because it actually means you can't resolve it from the directory. I might have to remove our modules. And we should also update the template.
That was some cool debugging.
Well, it might not
Oh,
work.
Harry's also here. So we got a new framework.
Hey, Tanstack. Cool. Nice to see you, Harry.
Yeah.
I don't actually
Also-
remember your surname. You're DevTools, Harry, right? From the UK.
Yeah, Harry Harlow, Harry. I know it ends with O.
Horlow.
Like
Horlow? Or is it Harry
Yes.
W. Horlow?
Harry Horlow, yeah. That's his name and last name there. He's everywhere.
Yeah. I was just wanting to check, because there are multiple Harrys in Tanstack, in the Tanstack world, right? There's not just one Harry, but this Harry, like, you're the Harry I met at VConf, right? TikTok, Twitch doesn't give us the, yes.
So we actually rolled over a question, which I don't know if it was about Nuxt or Nuxt Hub specifically.
Oh,
Which is about the difference between the database in Nuxt Hub and database in Nitro. I'm scrolling up to find the
yes!
question.
It's working now.
Oh, you got it.
So it was right.
Nice.
It was right. It was all that evil, shamefully waste. So it's now we've actually with zero code other than use database, we're now using a database like a SQL database. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but this is very cool. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are actually fully pulling in. We're just running SQL. Amazing. So we could probably wrap this. Sorry, you were saying something there. Carry on, and then we'll. Go to
I was just
ORM.
forwarding the question. So about the difference between the database in Nuxt Hub and the database in Nitro.
So Nuxt Hub, I've been talking to Sebastian about this to see if we can actually create a core Nuxt module which just handles stuff like database abstractions. But you're right. It doesn't use DB0 under the hood. And I think that was so it could iterate faster. And it's also opinionated in terms of what that database is, right? It's not any database. And so, for example, the ORM is Drizzle. So you have to use Drizzle if you're using Nuxt Hub database. One thing about this, you think you can drop stuff, but you can't. This SQL handles escaping the values. So you can't just drop something in. Even so, if you want to, so this thing here, it interpolates properly into the SQL string, because template, like this kind of function, this like template, what do you call it? A template function or something like that. It actually gets an array of all of the variables that are injected into it. So if you haven't come across it and you just use it as a convenience function of like, oh, this is just another way of calling a function, it's not. It's a very, very clever way of calling a function that enables stuff like auto escaping of SQL. Tag literal, that's it, Sol. So it's very cool. So it is actually
But
safe.
if you actually manage to drop your tables, that's one of the advantages of having a serverless database. Like Neon has point in time restore, which is as quick as reverting a commit, basically.
Okay, that's amazing.
So
So if I go into my database somewhere, where is it?
Neon console, there, the second
Great.
one. Yeah.
So I have a SQL editor, I have tables, and I'm guessing users is already there, and John Doe. Like I've inserted it and I can see it. How would I guess back up and restore?
Can I show you something even cooler?
Yes.
Now if you go to like, just click on create new branch if you go to your tables view or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and now create a new branch where it is. Isn't there? Okay, so go to the overview page. You should be able to do that. There it goes. Create child branch up there, the CTA.
Cool. And
Yeah,
I'll call
now
this.
call it whatever you want and check anonymized data.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It's getting better. Don't worry.
Okay.
And now you just, and select like first name or something, and you can select masks.
Amazing. Okay, so dummy random unique email. Cool.
And now you can apply. It's gonna take a little bit, a few seconds, not a lot because you don't have a lot of data.
Done. Okay.
And now if you go to your branch lists,
it's already here. It's already selected Dev for me.
yeah. Okay, so you can go to table.
Yeah, Chandler Farrell. Cool. Okay, that's fun. So if I now obviously this connection string is totally public to every single person who is on the stream, although it looks like it's
No, it's the password's not showing by default, so don't worry.
well, I'm pretty sure I opened the .env file. Although I could always add back the .env. I disabled this because it was I think it was slow. Anyway, I'll re-enable it. So now we should get. Now I should be able to click the .env. No, I can't. So everyone can very happily connect to me, but I'll just save that, and that should mean, I guess. Oh, this probably isn't going to work because it's going to. Well, I'll get two users now, right? Oh no, I'll only get the new user. Oh, that's a pain. This is just a very hard-coded example. If I were going to restart the server with a new key and hit this, I guess I'll get ID will be different, be a new one, and it will be John Doe as well. And if I were to look at the tables, we now have two users, right? Oh no, it overwrote it. Maybe I think it dropped the table. So this is a very very bad code. Never run this code. Yeah, okay. Well. But yes, it's working. We have our branching database, which is amazing. Anonymization. Would you do this by default? So would you, is this, I mean, this is obviously fun to play with, but would you actually do it for a module? Just basically say to, like, no config required. You can immediately start coding.
Yeah, so so what we do with the Vite plugin is once you add the Vite plugin, you're basically we assume that you want to have a database working by the time you run the dev server.
Yeah.
So if you don't have an active connection string, we do that for you.
Yeah.
And then what I usually do, and it's not enforced, but I just name the seed script as seed in that sense. So I don't drop anything in the like you have there, which you actually wouldn't need to in your SQL. You're creating a table only if it exists, so you don't need to
Oh, yeah.
drop anything before.
Exactly. You don't need it.
Um,
It was just, yeah. Well, in fact, I think probably most people won't want to directly use SQL. Or they can, but should we set up an ORM like that wraps this?
yeah, we could. Yeah.
Don't have to. Because Nitro has, obviously, this is an example, but a DB0 has its own docs. It's one of the challenges of the AnJS ecosystem. Stefan, nice to see you. The challenge of the AnJS ecosystem, there's so much stuff, each with its own docs website and so on. But here we have different connectors that you can use with DB0. And then you have integrations, which are ORMs effectively. So in this case, we could simply define a database, initialize it, and then export it. And then you get something which is a lot easier to use. So we do something like utils db. We need, I guess, a schema. Maybe we create a file db schema, pop it in there, and we probably also need to install Drizzle. And we have a schema, and then we need our database. And we'll just export that from here. Cool.
Yeah, but that one's using SQLite, right? We need to swap the Drizzle config.
Yeah. So we would pull this in, in the schema as well. Yeah. I guess it's probably just as simple as pulling in Postgres. Ooh.
Drizzle has some settings for Neon as well, using our serverless driver.
Ooh. Okay.
Let me see.
So we've got Neon drivers. That's a class.
Yeah. So there's Neon HTTP. Where do I post it in the chat?
Yeah, we have Neon HTTP.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And then we should have, let's see.
And then you can use the Neon serverless driver to create the client, and then you pass it to Drizzle as the client. So then Drizzle is just an abstraction on top of it.
So we'd pull in.
So instead of PG,
do something like this.
No, I think that's just a type. So the problem is you would need another dependency, which is...
Okay. Let's just have a look at Drizzle and pull up our Neon example. And we've got, we need Drizzle kit, I guess. And also, now I think one of the points though is that we're only defining the schema here. We don't actually need the driver, because instead we're going to use this DB0 connector, and we're just going to use the DB0. Come on, DB0. We are going to.
So you're going to define the schema on in Drizzle and consume that in DB0?
Yes. So we just need to define the schema. That's the only thing we need to do at this point. So if we can pull it in, it's DB. And then we just connectors, we should have Postgres. Is that a thing? Why is it not? I need to find out what's in the it's either the types aren't helping me or something else. But okay, so we should have a dist folder. We should have a connectors, and we've got PostgreSQL. Okay. Great. And so we just basically set this up, and we probably have to. We probably don't have to create a database because it's already set up for us. So we just use database. So basically, we just call drizzle our database and then our schema. So that's even simpler. But we do need to define the schema. And so defining the schema with drizzle, presumably, this is why I was thinking it doesn't have to do much with, like it should be unique to any Postgres. Okay, drizzle ORM PG.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah.
So we just pull it in here from, and we should be able to do table. What was it? PG table. Let's pull that in. And I guess the options are a bit different for Postgres. So we would do something like just primary key, maybe. And
since Cursor and Claude, I don't remember the last time I wrote this by hand like that.
Yeah, fair enough. But I think we can just pull in. But it's good. It's good. Like it gives you some options. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've written a
No,
schema.
but I'm just trying to co-pilot with you, and I'm like, okay, don't remember the syntax.
Okay, so we've got a schema. We should be able to. What is? Oh, drizzle doesn't need a schema. That's weird.
I mean, let me double check it.
The DB0 drizzle, that can't be right, because we actually specifically have an example here in the in DB0 of.
No, but the thing is, like, you instantiate the client, and then when you're going to use DB0, we're going to execute a query. Then you say which table you're executing it to. So that's when it parses the schema in the ORM.
I'm just saying that the signature here that DB0 is expecting is to be able to call it with an options thing. Maybe it's not defined yet. So it's just saying DB. So it might be that it needs a release because we're expecting. Yeah, we're not. It's very weird.
Wait.
I know. I also see this.
No, you're not using those. Yeah.
No, but it is interesting. So maybe DB0. Maybe this is why Nuxhub isn't using DB0. Regardless, we could just directly pull, I suspect, drizzle in on its own. Maybe I should. Let's pull in it from drizzle. Let's see if we can make that work separately, because drizzle has its own API. So we had here our schema, and then we create a database with IC, and then it has its own connection. Yeah. I think it's all about someone saying that there is actually a something that's been already. Yes, this is it. This is why the docs specifically say that it exists. It just isn't released, which is a bit frustrating, but it is there. Let's see if we have a package pr.new. We don't. So let's just clone it and build it locally. So I'm just going to pull in DB0, And there we go. We're just going to install the deps and pack. Cool. And so we have, this is our path. This is that. So here is our, whoops. Here's our tarball for the latest version. And we're just going to use that in this project here. Because why not? We're going to say file. And I don't know if we might need that as a resolution higher up. So I'm just going to do it anyway. Resolutions. There we go. Hey, Fishy didn't leave. Fishy has been here all along. Okay, default now. Look, everyone else should be doing this stream rather than this. I have an embarrassingly little knowledge of what I'm doing. Okay, now is this correct? Drizzle. I might need to restart the TypeScript server just to make sure we update the latest stuff. And it's working. Okay, this is so much better. Right, so it's now up and going. We have our database. And now let's see if we can actually do this in our API. So we would want to do is, okay, wait, DB, start the data server. Oops. Okay, await. Yeah, all of this isn't working now. DB exists, but it's a bit different. So what we would want to do is I guess Drizzle will take care of creating the table, as my hope. So what we want to do is await DB insert user, no, insert users, no, DB users. Is that right? For goodness sake, how do we use Drizzle? I promise I have used Drizzle before. Do we need to?
So you need to pass the table as the parameter of the insert, and then you chain it with the values. Yeah.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll export star from DB schema. We probably.
I do think you need to pass an option if you wanted to upsert. If it's not there though.
Oh, upsert. Oh, insert. I'll import it anyway. Values. Okay. And I guess the.
Are those not the right keys?
What are we looking at? What's the example? So value, oh, I think it needs to be an array maybe. No? Okay, insert values. No, a single row is fine. That's interesting, isn't it? So why would it object? Maybe. What are our users? We have full. Oh, the types are wrong. So our database here has first name, and it has email, and it also has last name. And we also want these.
To be, you have separate columns.
Well, first name, last name, just to keep the schema the same. Okay, so that's the thing. And then this then expects us to have, I guess, an ID. So
yeah, but the ID is not a number, right? Oh, it's an integer.
It is a number, but it should be auto-incrementing, right? We want it to. We don't need. We ideally don't want the. Do we specify that with? Generated. primary
No,
key,
I think it's a chainable.
a chainable
You
thing. So
have
we should be able to say like, or maybe we just do it with the default thing. So we say default. Okay, drizzle docs. See, it's good for us to do this from time to time, isn't it, Attila? And
yeah. I'm actually I'm on the docs as well.
okay. Okay, someone has
um,
provided this. Okay, primary default function ID gen. Cool.
hmm.
Okay, we'll do that. Default function ID gen. Oh, I see. We have to provide our own function for doing it. Okay. So we'll just do like random UUID and do that. It's probably too big for a normal.
So generated always
no, it
as
needs to be a
identity
number.
is a thing.
String. We just do text, I guess. No, text isn't. Text is not going to be good, right?
No, but that's fine. It's a number. Oh, you just
no, random UUID is a string. I guess we can come up
But
with.
it could be a text then. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do text. We've got a random UUID, and now we have everything going. So now we hopefully don't need that, and we just have these values. And you said that there's something to do with upserting. So we.
No, I think that's fine. I was looking at it. It should be fine.
Okay, and we do returning. That will, I guess, return the rows that it inserts. So we've got res is, yeah, there we go. Those are our rows.
Yeah, what you could pass chain to the values is the on conflict do nothing.
Ah, okay. On conflict do update.
That was what I was thinking of.
And then we just sort of say set set should be what? It should. This is almost simpler in some ways to write SQL.
You want to update? Yeah.
So what will we update? We update the first name and the last name. Do we have to provide those? Okay.
Do you need to provide a target, I think, yeah. With the ID then. Yeah, I don't think the target, yeah.
Oh, like this maybe? No.
Yeah, it should be.
Andre's probably already given. No, Mehmet is giving me. Okay, for goodness sake. Target.
Yeah, but that's exactly what you were doing.
Oh, he's saying just the ID. So like this, and then drop that. It's not. That's not, okay. We can just on conflict do nothing.
Yeah, that's
do nothing. Do nothing. This is basically the strategy that the world has to use, right? Okay, so we have. Okay, so we've much simplified it in terms of our creating this new user. Oops, what happens if we hit that API endpoint? Oh, created at doesn't exist.
Oh, what is in your actual table?
In the schema, we have created at is created at. And I bet it's that we haven't run any kind of migrations, right?
No, but we do have, you already have a table there. That's the thing in Neon.
Yeah, but the problem is we've copied and pasted these from two different things. So our existing table doesn't have that. It only has email plus first name and ID. So we should just drop that as the simplest thing, I think. And then we should be able now to hit it. Great, we've got our new person. Now, instead of a number, we have an ID, which is a string. Okay, so we have an ORM up and running, which was more painful than...
It was harder than we expected, but yeah, we got
it was harder than expected. So we could hook that up and make it do some interesting things. So we could grab our first name, last name from the body. So read validated body from our event, and we could pass in like a schema. So we could add like valabot import stars v from valabot, and we could do const user schema is the object. There we go. And so we could then, I think, just pass. No, we can't pass. It's it just validates the whole thing. So that's an event. No, it's the body. Yeah. So the safe pass. Is that how it works? Schema and then input. So and that no, we want check or something like that, right? Check. And check is the other way around. It's no, it's, or is it the schema? Do we run it on the schema? User schema dot what is it? Validate. No. What is it? Oh, so it is just pass. Okay. But it feels like it's going to be doing too much. Anyway, so we've got those back. And we have, we could just pop them in like this. So now hopefully we have the ability to pull anything in. So if we now post to, oh, am I running a dev server? Start it again. We should now be able to post and first name Atila, last name Messina, or is it two S's?
Two S's, but that's fine.
Okay, so we should now have another item in our schema.
You need to, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
You have appeared.
Nice.
Now, I have a cat who is asking to be let out of my room, so I'm going to let him out.
Nice.
He has claws. If I don't let him out, there are very real consequences for me.
Oh, you mentioned cat and you didn't show it, and Josh is watching.
Okay.
He's
Should I try
never
and
gonna
entice
forgive
him
you.
back in? He might not. I can entice him to bring it back in.
Oh, Josh is never going to forgive you. Look what you did to him, Josh.
I have actually two cats. So this is Lily.
Oh.
This is Lily. She is
Lily's a
extremely
fluffy girl.
sweet. And she was not the one who was last to be let out. She does not use claws. She in no way is a meanie. He's not meanie either, but he does gently use claws when he wants to be let out. And he has also come because I called him. But he is not wanting to be picked up. He wants to leave the house. There he is. Look at that face. He is like,
I love that grumpy face.
He's so grumpy.
It's gonna kill you when you sleep, man.
Exactly. like, what did he do to me? I can't.
You are about to regret this.
Can't believe it. I think he wants to leave. He wants to get out of the house. So there you go. cats on display. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, sorry for that interruption. And so, okay, what are people saying? Is there any way to use Pinia in the root options file? No, probably not. Root options runs, I think, before Pinia is instantiated, but you can try it. What else are we saying? Does Neon database support UUID version 7? Do you know?
So it supports what Postgres supports. I think I think Postgres 18 defaults the IDs to be v7 because it's time based. So I
Yeah.
think it does.
And Yaramas is saying we should absolutely bring the cat to JS Heroes. So you haven't heard about JS Heroes. JS Heroes is this May, and I'm going. It's very cool. I've heard so much good stuff about this conference.
It's amazing. Have you not been there yet?
I haven't. No, I haven't been there.
Oh, they're amazing. They're amazing.
You
Yeah,
see
I've been there
this?
twice. They're great. Yeah, Jeremias is one of the ambassadors,
Yeah.
and dude, that's one of the best conferences ever. The venue is also amazing, and it's one of those conferences that the audience is also incredible. Like people are so interested, and Jeremias is one of the guys who sets up all the satellite events during the conference. So on breaks, you have like discussion panels and whatnot. Um, so it's really cool, and it's like I think it's one of the oldest and first community conferences in Europe. I would say. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremias, but I think if guys are the ones been there for the longest. Yeah, they have really good coffee. Yeah, there's like a really good barista there. The guy is tired of me by now. Um,
It's
oh,
true.
papanage.
It's true when you sort
Have
of
you
keep.
had that?
I don't know what's that.
Dude, that's that. Like, there are two things you need to try there: the minchi and the papanage. The minchi is like this. It's like the closest Europe was able to get from a chorizo, which is like minced meat and some flour, and then they make it like in a sausage style.
Yeah.
It's really good barbecue. And the papanage is a special kind of Romanian dessert, which is fried dough with cottage cheese. And then the original one, they put some, I don't remember what the jam is. It's some kind of red berries jam on top of it. And then there's a touristic version, which is with chocolate.
Yeah.
Um, really cool.
Okay, I will definitely have to have that. And you pronounce it what? Papanage.
Papanage, yeah. The thing that Josh wrote in the chat there. I was actually proposing them that the non-official name of JS Heroes should be Papanage JS.
Okay.
I almost got it through. I'm pretty sure Alex was like on the fence about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I really cannot wait. It's going to be.
Yeah, it's
going to be
really
fun.
good. Yeah.
So yes, and Stefan, you just need to come. Right. Okay. So cool. So Neon is basically embarrassingly straightforward because half of the time we've spent struggling to set up Drizzle, rather than doing anything to do with Neon. Now, this other Neon module, what does it do? What would you need to do to have a Neon module? Because obviously I feel a little bit robbed. And here I was going to make a Neon module, and there is a Neon module, so we can make a PR to it to add this instant database setup. But just looking at what it does. Okay, so it has stuff like is Neon success or is Neon error. So it has got a lot of useful utilities, I guess. There's a Neon client. Okay, so it's not using DB0 under the hood. I think it has a whole client and its own set of errors. And then it's using, probably has its own Neon driver.
Oh,
and
Neon
stuff.
Driver? Oh
And
yeah, so it's using the serverless driver. Yeah, serverless driver is a package that we created in Neon, which
yeah,
is basically a drop-in replacement for the PG package. Um, but it's kind of tailor. It offers or used to offer better support for serverless.
yeah,
I don't know how things are now in comparison, but yeah.
yeah. Okay. And it also looks like we can run this on the client. So we have this client side fetch from Neon backend thing.
Mm.
It exposes an API underscore Neon endpoint where you can post something and then
So
have
this is something cool that changed in Neon now. We have a data API.
okay,
So you probably can reduce a lot of the footprint on that in
yeah,
code. Um,
yeah, okay. Well, there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff going on. It would be interesting to go through this module and see what there might be that is needed or not needed with the latest stuff from Neon then. But it's also interesting to see if what we could do with just using DB0 under the hood, so that everything, you know, is installed by default and you don't have to add anything else. Cool. Amazing. Okay, and they have docs. This is all set up.
ooh.
Okay, so the idea is you pull in a Neon instance like that, and you can then get info about the connection, add stuff in. I guess this is basically a sort of ORM on its own. So again, I really think there's scope for deduplicating this and using, because the raw, for example, we could just use DB0 for that because it exists for this purpose. We also have quite a lot of different variables. So I wonder if we could just provide the final variable, the URL. Although I guess this is because you're using the serverless driver rather than the HTTP or the TCP driver. Cool. You mentioned Neon Auth. Is that something that it's possible to use?
So yes, but not, yeah. For our module, not right now because the SDK doesn't have the the server methods for Nuxt. Right now, the SDK is only exporting the Next.js bindings. So
I
the agnostic
can't
is going to take
believe
a
you would
little.
say that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that cuts deep. That cuts so deep.
yeah. Me too. That was the first feedback I gave them. They're like, okay, we need an extra week to do the other one.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so what it does though, it's better off with some neon bells and whistles. Um, it is not too hard to make diagnostic ones. I
Yeah.
just but and it is open source. So actually, if anybody's interested in that, um, you can ping me and I'll be first in line to review that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so right now they only did like you can do client side, but the whole like session management and stuff, it's not that easy to do.
Hmm.
Um, it's not possible to do with the SDK, so you need to do a lot by hand. And it has some different flavors, like on terms of which cookies they set, different than Betteroth. So it's not like entirely drop-in replacement, um, though it's built on top of it.
Yeah.
Let me grab the GitHub repository to share with everyone. So I'll put that in the chat. And so, yeah, everyone that's like interested in that and wants to do some open source, you're more than welcome to create an issue. feel free to add me at that, and I'll talk with the team. Um,
We should get that working outside of, like, even just exposing the, I love it, the third contributor is Claude.
so here's the thing: like Pedro over there, the first guy in that
Yeah,
list, he's he's very definitely an AI engineer. Like you need to see the amount of markdown files and skills and stuff he has in his IDE.
yeah.
Um, I don't know what, like I was mentioning to you, I don't write SQL. I don't write like queries by hand anymore. I don't think he writes code by hand anymore. Pedro is
Okay.
like full on. Um,
I
so
want to
yeah,
see some of his,
I'm not surprised.
I want to see some of his PRs then. Okay, so here we go. I'm just curious. There's no blame going on here. Okay, so inject Neon client info header for analytics. So 31 files. Yeah, that looks like generated.
He is a great engineer though. But yeah.
So, okay, so if someone wants to, Andre, good to see you. If someone wants to, yeah, Josh. Sorry, Josh. Florent, nice to see you. So if someone wants, and Jeremias, I see is gone as well. If someone wants to see this, if someone wants to implement it, do you all want like a Vue or a solid adapter here? Like, would you maintain it? Would you be keen to have it?
I would, yeah. I do think that in terms of like Nuxt or Vue or Nuxt or Solid start, it would be pretty much we would just use the vanilla one. The thing is that Next.js does some changes in the response types and the request types, so I think that's why they need a
I
tailored one.
see.
Like my take is that if we just do a vanilla one that takes the native request and response events, we can just plug it in on every other framework.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining. I haven't tried it, but from what I looked, like what we need to do for that, I would say we could have an agnostic one and get by pretty much everywhere.
Well, that would be great because a Nuxt module could configure it for you, so it could inject everything that you need, so that you don't have to do any setup at all.
Mm.
Right?
But
But you're saying it's possible, right? So that like if
yeah,
everything is exposed via the vanilla SDK.
so that we don't have the vanilla SDK right now. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's not about adding a
Yeah.
Vue solid. It's about adding the vanilla SDK so that anyone can use it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's basically just moving like the bulk of the logic out of the Next.js one and then just making Next.js use the core one and do the adapter part.
Okay.
That's what I'm imagining.
This should be very simple. If you just have Pedro prompt Claude to create a
Uh,
generic adapter.
I do feel I need to talk a little bit more about him because he's getting some bad stuff on the chat, and it's not like it's not like that. It's not like he doesn't read the code. It's not like he's prompting AI everywhere. He
Yeah,
uses AI to be more productive, and he's really good at that.
yeah,
So that's my take on that. So the thing about Claude being a contributor, it's about reviewing the code and making the small changes. It doesn't change the fact it's not like the Pedro's PRs are Pedro's PRs. The what Claude is doing integrated with GitHub is different,
I think
and I do that all the time in Solid as well. Like I do requests. I request Copilot to review code. I request Copilot to write a change set and stuff like that.
I mean, I do think that the approach of attributing stuff is really good. So I saw one repository even that basically said we require you to disclose how, like, what did the AI involvement in creating this PR look like? Did it write all of it? Did you review it? Did you not review it? Like, which I think is a really nice idea. So basically transparency. which is, yeah, I think that's helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I think like even if it AI didn't write it, if you didn't review the code you're shipping, that's a problem anyway.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't care if I get a PR, for example, in Solid Start or something. I don't care that much if it was AI generated or not. I care if the code is readable, if the code is maintainable, and if the code is running.
Mm.
Um, and like there are people that write code that is hard to run, and they are not using AI. It doesn't. It's not a qualifier, I would say. Not
Yeah.
have used AI. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean,
Also, AI is extremely good in writing tests, for example.
well, I mean, yes and no. Like you have to know what a good test is. So,
Sure, sure. Yeah.
like I
It
mean,
goes by on the reviewing part, but sure. But if you give like a well-written code to it and say write some tests to it, it's going to like do a big heavy lifting for you.
I mean, but I guess none of that stops what we were saying, which is that you still have this obligation to review what stuff is coming up with. I mean, I've prompted an AI to write tests, and it changed the source code to give the results the tests were expecting. And like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
something
yeah,
you have to consider. Like the test should
yeah,
only change the test. Or I've seen tests created that were fully mocked, like
yeah.
everything was mocked. And I've even had AI. If you, I basically like test this function, and what it does is it actually just create. And this was Opus 4.5. This is the most recent. It created a test, which it basically was like, this is the same. It's the same, but it's not actually testing the function. It's testing a simplified version of the function, which is inlined in the test file. It's a
Yeah,
useless test. It's
I
a
also
terrible test.
and it gets especially difficult as your code gets more abstracted. So
Yeah,
I had one time I had a bug on Solid Start where there was like a specific way to have your code leaking to the client side.
yeah,
So I wrote an end-to-end test to it. I
yeah.
said, so there was like a little bit of a string, and then I made the string leak, and then I prompt AI said, make the test pass. So then it added a check in the code for that specific string, and then if the string is that, you don't leak it. So it doesn't really work, you know.
Yeah.
That's the problem was if I ship that code without reviewing it. Um,
I think that one of the biggest issues is that when you have a colleague, you get to know them. Are they trustworthy or not? And you have someone who like they create a PR and you almost don't review it because you just know they will have done the work. And so you get into a habit of reviewing it less, right? Maybe you get a little bit lazy.
yeah, yeah.
And that's often fine because you don't have to check. Like you're not expecting people to make dumb mistakes. You're expecting people to be they've done the basics, and you're reviewing bigger picture like patterns, or maybe you're trying to catch something you missed, but it's not as detailed. Whereas the thing with AI generated code, everything is on the table. There might be really
Yeah.
basic mistakes. There might be no mistakes. It might be a perfect PR. Like it could be anywhere in there. And past performance is no guarantee of future performance. So like with a person, you feel like you can trust them. So after a while of working together, you're expecting, okay, they're not going to hard code a secret into, or they're not going to hard code a check for a secret into the thing. They're just not going to do that. Whereas you can never know that for sure for an LLM. You always have to check, which, but you might not feel like that because the last PR was perfect and needed no changes. So I think it's
Yeah,
just
that's true.
it's hard on you as a reviewer to be dealing with what could either be perfect or could just be terrible. It's
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel though that in terms of like now we're talking about using AI to work. I do feel that using the plan mode in this case kind of safeguards you a lot from that.
yeah.
Um, when they're just aesthetic tools and they put sentient thing into their arguments. Yeah, I was just reading the comment. Yeah, so um, I do feel that the plan mode kind of helps you with that because it gives you like I feel it you can safeguard from a lot of that before doing it. But yeah, I I, I do use it quite, especially on the day to day work. I You do need to be careful about always reviewing it more thoroughly. So it needs to go through a third step review in this case. Like you get the LLM to write the code, you review it, and then you make a PR for somebody to review it.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
Honestly, that muscle, like PR review muscle, um, uh, is such an important thing. Like reviewing your own PRs is such a key thing to do. But I've built whole apps that I prompted something, I got it to write the thing, looked at it, wrestled with it, deleted it, and wrote it myself again. And honestly, it's so much better that way because the I think it was Mark Twain who said pretty much everything. That if you ever found something you wrote that you particularly liked, you should delete it. And I think, and I really do believe that if you write something, like if you're writing something, one of the best things you can do to improve it is delete it and start from scratch, because you'll never actually lose what matters. You will only lose all the fluff and stuff along the way. And I think the same is true of code. Like if you treat it as like a first draft, not to be iterated on, but even just delete it, but you remember all the cool stuff, you remember the architecture ideas that you thought were good, and you also remember the ones that you thought were bad and you're not planning to use. I genuinely think you could save days, even if you never actually use any of the code. You just treat it as like a sounding board.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do agree with that. Oh, I need to swap my phones.
It's the battery is always a problem.
My headphones just died on me out of the blue. But I'm here. I'm still listening.
Okay, good. You're still here. You're not left. Um,
No, 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 no. The thing is, the headphone died and it went to the big sound box. So now I need to use this big thing right here.
so, I mean, everyone wants to the answer to the question: are your acoustic tiles held on with blue tack? I think they're talking about you. Like
No,
behind.
they're this thing over here.
Yeah, I think so. Are they acoustic tiles?
Yeah, they are. They are, but they are like pretty loose. I was just testing with them,
Yeah.
and now they're about to fall out. But I'll nail them properly. It's just because having like two kids in an apartment while trying to do some live stream or recording can be challenging.
Yeah.
So I'll take anything I can do to help.
Do they work? Do they make a difference?
I mean, I think what makes the most difference is the microphone. That properly, like, it's a properly cardioid. Before that, I had a much worse microphone. I had like a Yeti, which just takes everything from everywhere. So if you drop a pin on another room, you're going to catch it. So the microphone does a better job at it.
Yeah.
I put that more or less at the same time as I brought the microphone. So I don't really know if that made a lot of difference. I do have more. I have these in the back, and I have a few more in the wall here on the left side, on my right side. Yeah.
I'm asking because I really need to get some kind of acoustic thing set up. Although it is true how much the difference a microphone makes. I have a little walking pad under my desk. So I actually often walk, and even on a call, if I'm chatting to someone else, they can't hear the sound it makes. It's not really loud, but it's like a zzzz sound as it just goes round and round. So all they see is me just sort of bouncing as I walk. But the sound doesn't make it true.
Yeah, so it does. The microphone does a lot of work. I don't know which microphone you have, but this one is one of the cheap Rode ones. cheaper. Still a USB mic, so nothing fancy about the setup. It just repels. Sounds really good.
Yeah, I have a Rode mic as well. I love it. It's really nice.
Mm.
Uh, does it look like? I'm sure I could figure a way to take a picture of it or something. But yeah, it's a nice one. Okay, so
So
Attila,
Jan is saying that carpets and curtains do a lot. What?
yeah, Jan Niklas, Thortman, carpets and curtains. My room is about the opposite of that. It has a painted wood floor, like massive windows with no blinds or curtains. That's why all the light is streaming in here. And yeah, nothing. There's zero curtains or carpets. There is a rug, but it's quite a small one, so mine is presumably extremely loud.
Mm.
Katie, welcome. At the moment, I'm totally draining Attila of all advice on soundproofing. Yeah, an 80s fuzzy wall. Basically, like just carpet up the wall, or thick shag or something like that. That would definitely be the way. Oh, Katya! Ah, amazing. Katya is you're solid, right? You're building NitroPage on top of Solid Start. Is that right?
Yeah, and she's like the mad scientist who rebuilt from the ground up how Solid Start resolves CSS
Oh,
and loads
really?
the resources. Yeah, she's nuts. Yeah, she's doing awesome work there. And now she took upon herself to figure out the best DX for loading the environment files and credentials.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So there's if okay, everyone. So there's a post from Katja earlier today, which, if I can pull it up, is all about somewhere. I won't even be able to remember your your handle, but basically it's about
I
like
think it's
what is
yeah.
the best way to load .env files? Like, do you want to like hard code them at the build time, or do you want to respect them at runtime? So if anyone has an opinion or thought about this, please do answer. So we obviously have a very specific opinion on the Nuxt point of view, on the Nitro point of view, which is that we have runtime config. So things can be configured at runtime. So you can build everything up, and then at runtime, we don't read a .env file. We just pull from environment variables that are existing, and then they can override other things. And I think that's likely to be the approach we do go with in future. But I would be very interested in seeing what people respond to this. So if anyone has thoughts, feel free to pitch in and make a difference to to Solid Start, I guess.
Yeah. So that's the point. So we are now, because we moved out of Vinci. There were a lot of things that Vinci used to do for is doing for SolidStar V1 that we need to either implement outside of Vinci or and that allow us to rethink stuff.
Yeah.
So CSS loading was one of them, and now the V2 Alpha is not loading the .ems on the server side. Like on the client side, you have the Vite configuration, right? Because it's Vite on top of everything. But for the server side, we need to now decide if we're going to do that and how we're going to do that. If we're going to do compile time, if we're going to, and be like as light-handed as possible and just like try to load from the start. If we're going to go and ask Nitro to do that for us, or if we're going to do like some runtime. We were talking about even having some kind of helpers outside of core where people can actually bring them in and use that to validate stuff. So that's the point. Oh, she's asking something directly to you.
I think that validation question is something people want from Nuxt as well. The idea of being able to inject their own code in that process, because everything else runs at build time. But if you really want to validate runtime config, like what's the mechanism you have to do that? And I think that is the missing piece to answer Katya's point. Um, I personally think runtime config is good because it requires you to set a schema rather than the danger with process.env is that libraries can access it deep inside them. So for example, imagine I'm pulling in a neon library, and in that library, there's a check for process.env.database underscore URL, right? It's an API that's undocumented and undiscoverable because it's not in any of the function types. So I think accessing process. Now, Puya and I have different opinions on this, by the way. I think Puya is a fan of process.env, but I personally think it allows for implicit reliance on an environment that is dangerous. I would much rather have everything explicitly passed down. So rather than have a function which accesses process.env, I would much rather have that as a param to the function. And then if you want to access process.env as the user, you can do that, but no libraries should do that. Libraries should always require you to be explicit about it. That's what I would prefer.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that-
You sound surprised.
Yeah, because I was no, it's just because I was approaching the whole runtime config from a different perspective in terms of as a user, I would want, for example, to be able to say, okay, I want this token to be a UID, and then I would have the validation telling me, oh, this is not a proper token, or like a connection string URL, and then it's not. Like you're saying this is a Postgres connection string, it's not, and so on. But the privacy and security aspect of it, shamefully, it was not on top of my head when I was discussing this. So that's why I sound surprised. I'm actually disappointed at myself to have not, that thought didn't cross my mind this morning when I was talking about that with Katya.
I mean, I do think those points are really good. And if I were to redesign the runtime config today, I would probably have a schema that the user provides that basically says this thing should be passed as a number. This thing should be passed as a string. Because right now, the way that Nitro does it is that it infers it. So if you have, because environment variables are all strings, that's all they are. But Nitro will say, oh, this is a string of 326, so it's a number. This is a string of true, so it's a Boolean. And that is fine. It's really nice. It's very convenient. But at the same time, you have edge cases. What if you put a number in that is like, uses scientific notation, like 1E7 or something? What if you put a floating point in, like 1.0006? Like there are lots of situations where you might not, like you want it to be a string with the value of true, you know? So I think providing your own custom validation function is very good because you avoid the weird issues. I've seen so many bugs where people say, hey, everything was working fine locally, then I deployed Nux to production and it broke. Can you fix it? It's probably an issue with my deployment provider. And it's not. It's not an issue with your deployment provider. You just don't have your environment variable set. So but your validation, if you make users validate it, then you get that guarantee, which I think is a nice thing. So I mean, I think that's the thing I would absolutely add in myself today. But yes, no, but that's the other half of like defining an explicit API, that you're basically saying, this is the only way the data is coming in or going out. And we have the validation of knowing what it is. But yes, cool. Atila, you have been so kind to join me and point me in the direction of Neon, which absolutely I'm going to be using in my projects. And this module, just the tiny one that provides the instant database, I would absolutely publish personally, unless we can stick it into something else. But but we should chat and figure out what to do, whether we modify this existing Nux Neon module and just contribute to that and shape it to use some of Neon's newer features and some of Nux's newer features as well, or whether we do something else. Does that sound like a acceptable
Yeah, let's
idea?
talk about that. I love that. Sorry?
Oh,
There's a little bit of lag now. I think my connection is getting bad. So what I was thinking about the module, and I was just like I was since we talked about doing this, and what Instagress can do and what would be nice to add. One thing that I feel is nice to have as a framework, a specific module is a way to, when people create different branches in Neon, it gets a new connection string.
yeah.
And then in that case, it would be cool. Like framework module is on the right position, I'd say, to be more heavy handed in the sense of, okay, you're swapping branches. I can update the connection string for you in this way or another. Um, we
I
have
love
explored
that.
that in some tooling inside Neon. So I have a colleague, Russ, is on my team. He actually created something. I think it was a Python script that, if you're in a project and you swap GitHub branches, it changes the connection string for you. It's something that I considered putting that on the Vite plugin as well. Um, yeah, so I do would love to hear some opinions about that. If it should be a default, if you because in one way it's nice when you switch branches and it connects to the right one for that specific branch. Because if you're using the GitHub action we provide or the Vercel marketplace, it's going to create one per deployment preview. But on the other side, if you're switching branches and your data changes below your feet, it might be a little bit concerning. Um,
At the
so
very
that's
least,
something I'd love to hear.
at the very least, the idea. So I'm guessing Neon has an API to the admin for the admin side. So
Yeah,
you can have the module. Basically, you could log in to the Neon console, in in the module. So it could actually prompt you, for example. So when you're starting Next for the first time in a new branch, it could say, here are 4 branches. Do you want to switch to a different branch? At the very least, it could prompt for that. You could also maybe auto enable it so that it tracks auto created branches and have the branch match the name of the Git branch match the name of the Neon database. I think you could do a lot of things. The moment you hook into the admin console, you could even from within Nuxt, you can imagine in DevTools pane, you could click a button and branch under your feet.
yeah,
So you're like, okay, hey, I've just fired up the dev server. I'm just about to enter some dummy data. I'm going to go in DevTools, click a button, and under the hood, it branches and reloads with a new database, and you just carry on. There's no copy and pasting env, anything. It just happens. That would be very cool.
that would be really awesome. Yeah,
I love that. Okay. So we're clearly going to have to arrange another stream or something to build that. I wish I had had this
that's cool.
conversation
Yeah, let's
earlier.
explore that.
Yes. Um, cool.
No, but
Okay.
that's good. Now I have an excuse to come back. So we can ship today as an MVP and book something to do it again.
Very cool.
I'll
Thank.
definitely collect some opinions. And I'll promise you, the next time I come, I'll have the SDK on auth ready to be used on a different server than Next.js.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you, Atila, for joining. It's always a pleasure to chat, and this was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, man. See you
Not,
later. See you
not at
later,
all.
chat.
See
Bye
you
bye.
later. I will just before I go. Atila, feel free to head off. I will before we go. See if there's anyone else streaming that we could raid. Let's see. We've got Adam, Dylan, and Janetta. So a lot of be quiet. So a lot of cool stuff happening. Do people feel like doing some open code stuff? Because Adam is probably on that. We could join. Let's try. Yeah, cool. Let's do that. Let's join Adam. And anyone who wants to do that is welcome to
Oh,
join.
okay. That's how you do raids in nice.
That's
I waited so I could learn about that.
absolutely. Yeah, this is the way. Cool.